Hey guys, this is Will over at MCG Tech Talk, and today I'm going to talk about the Nuvision 8-inch Windows tablet. This guy right here is actually about 80, 90 bucks, probably $90, shipping, tax, all that stuff. This is a full-blown Windows 10 tablet that is, I believe, like a couple millimeters thinner than a iPhone. But what was most interesting to me about this thing is that it's got a full HD screen. It's 1920 by 1200. It's IPS, and it was only $80, which was fantastic. I mean, if you look for cheapo depot Android tablets, they're gonna rock like 400 by or 800 by 400, sometimes 1200 by 800, and the resolution on them is really terrible, and it's $10 cheaper than these things. I know I've looked at quite a few of them, and they're just really terrible. But this thing was surprisingly good. I was super happy with this for the most part. Like I said, it's full Windows, so it's not anymore. Windows doesn't really do the little baby version. This isn't Windows 10s. It's full Windows, which is kind of rough to use. I will totally admit that, but it's super good for the price point for what to use it for. I tried using this for a day as my work computer just to be able to do time entries and things like that over Edge, because Chrome just ate the battery real bad. But Edge was pretty good. But that was real tough. It's got 10-point multi-touch, but I really recommend that you might want to get something like this, or even just like a little pen with a little nib on it, because this thing does not have any sort of anti-fingerprint coating on it. So you're gonna let me see if I can show you. You're gonna get it, and yeah, it starts to get real bad after a while. Like everything, wanting to play games, like if you Candy Crush on this thing, it's gonna look real rough, and the screen's super glossy, so you see those fingerprints real hard. But as a little media tablet, it's real good. I was able to watch Netflix and Plex on it really well. It does not have it can't see 5 gigahertz networks, so the speed is capped a little bit, but I mean, we've been at 2.4 gigahertz in the wireless spectrum for quite a while, and it was able to handle things. I wasn't able to push 4K to it, but getting the 1080 over a local network is pretty good. It came with a very old version of Windows 10. I had to install the Creators Update, and with this having a 32 gig hard drive, little eMMC chip on there, it ate most of that, and it took probably about a day or so over the Wi-Fi to download, install, and update and everything. After that, because of the way Windows operates, is it puts a backup of Windows on here, so you actually have to go into Windows and tell it to delete the older version. You can't just delete the Windows.old folder. You have to tell Windows to do it. But once I did that, it freed up 19 gigs, so there's plenty of room to put documents on here if you want to use it as an e-reader. There's also a micro SD card slot right here. They say it can take up to 64 officially, but forums have said that people on forums have said that they can get to 128, 256. But your mileage might vary on that. It has the standard ports. You have a little headphone jack. You have a micro USB port. This is for charging, and also it's data input, which is cool because this tablet comes with a USB OTG cable, which you plug a micro USB port into it, and it's got a full-sized USB port that you can then plug other devices into. With only one, I mean, it's kind of there's not a whole lot you could do. You could plug in like a game controller if it's maybe like a wired 360 and play very light games on there. You can put a mouse on here, but since this has Bluetooth, I actually connected it to a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard, and it was a little better. There is a tiny baby HDMI slot, which you can then output to TVs and stuff like that. But I've never really done that. I've never really had a need for that. Between Rokus and Chromecasts and things like that, it's better just to have it dedicated. But again, it's there if you need it. Volume up and down right here, and a power button. The speakers were a little lacking. It would have been nice if they were front facing, because that should be the standard for everybody, and I think it should be against the law to put them anywhere else. Because if you're holding this watching a movie, you're going to cover it with your hands. You're going to have to like do some sort of cupping action or something. Hold it one hand, put it on a stand or something. And the speakers themselves felt really tiny. I wasn't blown away, but plugging in a set of headphones or connecting through the Bluetooth to something is perfectly fine. Just you have to expect something like that, especially with the fact that this thing is still $80 and is super tiny. There is a front and a back-facing camera. The front camera is 2 megapixels. The back is 5, but they're both really terrible. Again, $80 tablet. What do you expect? You are going to want to buy this thing because the screen has a 1080 by a 1200 screen. It's super light. The battery lasts about 6 hours, but if you're running at full brightness, doing a lot of stuff, copying, work, you might want to keep it on the charger. It took a fair bit amount of time for me to put it on to go from 0 to 50, but I was only using a 1 amp charger, so it should charge a little better for you if you use something like a 2.1 or a 2.4 charger. Overall, I can't not recommend this. I want to try to like full Windows it. Like if you're going to browse the web and use Edge, it might be a little rough. And using Windows tablet mode is a chore. It's a really big chore when they tried to touch enable Windows 10. But that's for another. That's for a totally separate thing. I don't want to talk about how some cons on here are because of the operating system. I like Windows 10, but this is I don't know how well it's situated for that. But this was a really good buy, actually. I was super happy for it, or with it. I do wish that the Windows 10 button, when it got pressed, had a little haptic feedback, even just a tiny little thing, just to feel like when you're doing stuff, just to feel that little motor. But yeah, less than $100, it's really hard to go wrong with this, unless you hate fingerprints. Let's see if I can. Yeah, this thing gets real dirty real quick. But if you're gonna watch movies on it, read comics, ebooks, things like that, this is super good. I'd pick one up. You're gonna want to get a case for it, because even though it's $80 and that's almost throwaway money, you don't want to break a screen. It's never fun.